tell us just a little bit about what you did after the years that you were in the Miss Staten Island pageant, and then you went into the Miss New York pageant. Tell us where that led you.
So I would say right after I had finished competing within the Miss New York organization, the Miss America organization, a friend of mine who actually was a former Miss New York told me about auditions to become a flight crew cheerleader, which is the New York Jets NFL cheerleading squad. And I was looking to get into dance professionally. I've always been a dancer my whole life and thought Broadway was going to be where my path was, but I've always had an interest in sports entertainment as well. So, at first I was like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to pursue it. So I was like, you know what do I have to lose? So I went to the audition in 2012. I made it to the semifinal round, but then got cut after that. And instead of looking at it as a negative, I turned it into a positive and said, you know what? I made it this far in a professional setting. I'm going to work really hard for the next year, and this is where I want to be. So the following year, I re-auditioned, and I made the squad, and I cheered for the NFL for 5 seasons.
Wow.
Nice.
Very nice.
That is so awesome.
Amazing.
When you cheer, you don't go to other stadiums, right? It's only home games that you attend?
Right. Yeah. So we only cheered for home games and this was like a big if because I cheered for the Jets and we all know how they're doing right now. Not so good. But if they had made it to the playoffs or the Super Bowl, we would be able to cheer at those games. But for a regular season and preseason, it was only home games.
Yeah, with the Jets, that's probably not too likely.
I mean, at this point, we're just hoping for the number 1 draft pick so we can pick up Trevor Lawrence and hopefully get off to the right foot finally.
Kim, did you know Fireman Ed?
I do. I remember him very vividly. I've never met him in person, but he was at every single game. I remember seeing him right in the corner of one of the entrances, like right by one of the tunnels, and he would just cheer and scream. And he was definitely one of our favorite fans for sure.
Hey, Ed.
That's right. Shout out.
What was your favorite? I'm sorry. I just want to. What was your favorite thing to do? Like when there's lousy weather, you still have to go out there. So
absolutely.
What was your favorite thing to do to keep warm when it was crappy out?
So my coach would always say to us, "The heat is in the moves," which basically meant just keep dancing. So that way you won't freeze in the cold, which actually did work because whenever my family came to see me, they would freeze in the stands. And I was like, oh, it actually wasn't that bad today. They're like, yeah, okay. You just were dancing for 4 quarters and then some. That's why it wasn't cold. But yeah, we would, it's just like a mind over matter kind of thing. Because we would cheer, in August for preseason, even games in October, like early October, it would be very hot on the field. So, we would just kind of mind over matter, hydrate a lot, and then those cold weathers just kind of push through it. And I never had to dance in the snow, so that was lucky. But we've definitely had some cold weather in MetLife Stadium.
Now, without naming names, have any NFL players hit on you?
No, actually, and that's honest. For us, we never really interacted with the players, so they would practice during the day, and we would come in the evening, like around 6 o'clock, to the facility. So we honestly never had any interaction with the players.
Okay,
that was a really interesting question, Duke. I like that.
Well, there are stories of NFL players and cheerleaders connecting. So
there are.
Yeah, definitely.
But not in our league, that's for sure. At least not with the Jets. For us, like we were there to dance professionally. I've always been a diehard Jets fan my entire life. So
I'm sorry.
I know, right? I was born into it. I can't help it. I was a Mets and a Jets fan. I can't help it. It just happened that way. But like girls like me that are diehard Jets fans and wanted to dance professionally, we've had girls come from all over the country just to dance in New York City and be a part of that environment. So for us, that was our main goal. And, seeing players, it was kind of cool, actually. It was more of like surreal moments, like whenever the Jets played the Patriots when Tom Brady was the quarterback. Like that was kind of like a surreal moment, like, wow, like that's Tom Brady. Or if we played the Saints, like that's Drew Brees. Like growing up in football and understanding the game of football, it was more of like a surreal thing. Like, wow, like I actually made it. Like I'm here on this field with these all-star players. It was definitely a dream come true.
That's so awesome. You guys have to see her dance. She's an amazing dancer.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
so Kim, what's the deal? What's the deal with the Dallas cheerleaders, Cowboys? Are they hated, respected, special?
Oh, no. They are respected. They basically are like the first cheerleaders, basically, and like they kind of set the precedent for us. Actually, my coach is a former Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, so we kind of run the same kind of regiment that they do, just on the East Coast. So no, we highly admire them.
That's awesome. So something very interesting happened for Kimberly while she was out there on the field. Tell us about that, Kimberly. You know what I'm talking about, of course.
I sure do. We're talking about Christmas Eve, that day.
I sure am.
So Christmas Eve in 2017, it was my last game. It was my 50th game, last game. I was going to the Pro Bowl after that. So that's where I retired as an NFL cheerleader. But this was my last game at MetLife Stadium. And my now husband surprised me on the field and proposed to me in the end zone after my last game on the field. I'm still shocked that he like pulled that surprise off. I literally had no idea that he was going to propose to me. And we had his family and my family were on the field. My teammates were involved. They did the player intro line as I walked down to him. It was incredible. Like I still can't believe he pulled that one off.
I want you to know, I wish you could see a little bit closer, but I actually have tears in my eyes. I do. It's awesome.
It was
remember,
cool. Yeah.
I remember seeing it when you had put it up on Facebook, and I remember crying back then too, because I was just so happy for you.
You're just like a Jets fan now.
Yes. It was so beautiful.
That's good.
It was like the closing of one chapter and then like opening of another chapter, you know, and for him to do that with my teammates there, my family, my coach, like everything that meant so much to me for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
It just, you know, for me, it meant so much. It meant the world just to kind of close that chapter out and begin a new one right there.
Yeah. Really, really, really special. So you said you retired.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you did after the NFL.
So after I went to the Pro Bowl in 2018, that's kind of like where I had my last hurrah, which was for me a huge honor. Like there's only one cheerleader from every squad that goes to the Pro Bowl. So it is the highest honor an NFL cheerleader can earn. And when after that, I was thinking about what I wanted to do after cheering. And I've always been interested in hosting and broadcast media. And I was like, maybe I'll try hosting. And I went to an audition for Monster Jam and got the job. So for the last 3 years, I have been a host with Monster Jam with the Arena Championship Series.
Wow, that is so cool.
So cool. So different, but a lot of fun.
Do you travel the country doing that?
I do. So I have traveled all across the United States and to Canada as well, hosting numerous live events with Monster Jam. Unfortunately, we're on a little hiatus right now due to what's going on in the country with the pandemic. But when we did do it, I would go, you know, I would travel from the East Coast, going all the way out to like San Francisco, going to Albuquerque. I've gone to Reno. I've gone all over the United States. So it's been really cool to be able to see the country and to do what I love as well. It's so much fun. I miss it. I know that we eventually we're starting to make our return. I believe next week they were going to be at AT&T Stadium. So slowly we're starting to come back, but it's amazing. Like you never know where your life is going to take you. Like I never thought that I would be wearing steel-toe boots, like in the dirt, talking to monster truck drivers. But just to be able to be in that element, to interact with the fans that are so passionate about this sport, and it really does fulfill that void that I once had with dancing and performing at MetLife Stadium. It's just a different type of performing now.
Right. Definitely. So what do you have in your future?
Ooh, I would love to continue hosting, whether it's either live events or on television. I want to start a family soon, so that's definitely in my radar for sure. And just kind of overall, just continue to pursue my passions and do what I love while at the same time kind of raising a family and being a role model that I can be.
Excellent.
Can you play quarterback?
At this point, anybody can play quarterback,
Thank you.
I feel like. I'm ready though. I'm ready. If they need me, I'm ready.
Are you?
I'm sorry,
Go ahead, Jim.
Kimberly, is there one particular game that stands out in your mind as, aside from the obvious, the proposal, but is there one particular game, like a regular game, that just stands out in your mind as just, it was the best game for any particular reason?
Yes, it was actually my very first regular season game. We played the Raiders, and I had 2 preseason games before that, but I wasn't ready to feel what it feels like to be in a stadium of 82,000 screaming, energetic fans. I remember getting to my first quarter spot after the kickoff happened, and just kind of just standing there and kind of taking it all in, looking around, looking at the crowd, and I could literally feel the stadium shaking. And at that moment, I was like, wow, I made it. This is what it's like. And it was such a cool moment, but something that I don't even remember what the score was. I just remember that moment and just how special it was and how all of my hard work leading up to that moment, it just finally paid off.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, do you get to keep your uniform or do you have to hand it in?
No, I wish I had to return it, but I do have a couple pairs of boots, a couple of pom-poms, and some other like Jets jackets and stuff. But no, unfortunately, my main uniform, we had to return it.
Would you lend the pom-poms to Duke?
Please.
What color do you want? I have pink, I have white, I have gold, I have green.
Oh, pink. Pink is Duke.
That's totally me. I'm a
I
pink
love it.
pom-pom kind of guy.
I like it.
Oh, that's so funny. You guys are too much with each other. So you said you wanted to start a family. That's very exciting. I like that news.
Right?
It's wonderful news. I do.
How many kids?
I don't have any kids yet, but my sister is expecting her first child in December. So I get to be an aunt for the
Congratulations.
first.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. You
They're
get to
all
practice.
So excited, super excited. Exactly. I get to practice, which is great. So I can like be Auntie Kim, come over, hang out with my little nephew because we know it's going to be a boy, and then I can give it back. So I'm like, okay, gotta go, bye.
We had our first. I'm sorry. What was the last thing you said? I cut you off.
I said I am though excited to one day have kids of my own for sure.
Absolutely. How many do you want to have?
2, maybe 3. We'll see how it goes.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'd like to mention also that Kimberly's husband just finished a residency, am I correct, as a general surgeon?
So he finished his fellowship, yes. So he finished his residency about 2 years ago, and this past year we were living in Arlington, Virginia for his fellowship. So now he is a trauma surgeon attending. So
Wow.
14 years of studying and medical school and just
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
He's worked
Congratulations.
really hard, so it's been a long journey, a long time coming, but you know, I'm super proud of him and he's very humble about it, but I'm so proud of him and really excited for what's ahead for him for sure.
Awesome.
Definitely. And as you should be very proud. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
And you are back in Staten Island, so you went back to where your roots are.
Yes.
How are you feeling about that?
It hasn't changed. But no, it's really great to be back home. We loved being in the DC area. We learned a lot and got to see so many things before the shutdown happened. But, you know, there's nothing like coming back home. It's just, that's where, you know, our family is and just our environment is. So it's really nice to come back home.
Kimberly,
Yep.
do you like hockey?
I do, not as much as my husband. My husband is obsessed. He's a Rangers fan and super, super obsessed. But I do occasionally watch with him.
We have
Cool.
we have a hockey player on our team here.
Nice. What position? Do you know?
Ken?
Well, that's Ken right there.
Duke, do you know what position?
Yeah, yeah. My husband was a goalie.
Oh, okay. Does he still play?
Not anymore. No. Mm-mm.
He'll get back.
He wants to.
He'll get back.
Yeah. Ken?
So I guess I should ask you, who's your pick for Super Bowl this year?
Ooh, this
It's not the
year.
Jets, right?
Oh no, they're my pick for number one draft pick. I love Kansas City. I think they've been great. Patrick Mahomes is literally my quarterback on my fantasy team. You know who I've been surprised about? The Bills, man. The Bills look strong.
Those are good. They're strong, yeah.
I think they have a shot to at least make it to the playoffs. But
Absolutely.
I have a feeling that Kansas City is going to make its way back and try and go for back-to-back championships.
And you're not seeing TB12 in there?
No, I'm not.
Really?
I don't know. I think the Buccaneers were strong, but look at the Ravens defense has been phenomenal. I just think there's other teams that are coming out stronger. I think the Buccaneers have a shot to be in the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to make it all the way.
Okay. All right.
Duke.
You already know who I picked.
That's right. That's right. Well, Duke is a Washington.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Thank you, Seattle
I'm
Seahawks
a
fan.
Big
I've
Seahawks
always
fan.
liked the Seahawks. Yeah.
And actually, Ken, your pick was the same as Kimberly's.
Same as Kim's.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's the K names that you've got going on over there.
Well, that's the best name. Starts with K. We all know that.
Exactly. And it's my old initials, KC. So it's my
Oh, there you go.
So there you
KC.
go.
Holy Andy Reid.
Yes.
Kimberly, after retiring from the NFL, are you allowed to go back?
So you can go back. If I've had girls that were retired, took a couple of years off, and have come back and made it back on the team. But I've come back more as an alumni status. So I've had the opportunity to go back and teach the girls old routines that I used to dance to, some of my Pro Bowl routines that I got to share with the girls as well, and be a part of the alumni squad where during the games we would make appearances in the suites during the season while the girls were on the field. So I've been able to come back in many other ways as opposed to being on the team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do they have any rules about actually getting back on the team once retired? I guess my question is, when you retire, is that your choice or is it their choice? And if you take a couple of years off, can you go back to be on the actual team?
So we do have to audition every year. Some girls, unfortunately, may not make it back on the team, but they can, if they work hard, come back and retry out to be a part of the team. When I retired, that was my decision. So a lot of girls that decide that they want to retire after they complete a season, usually it's their decision to leave the squad. Now, we've had girls who have lived their lives in another state, that have moved back and said, you know what, I'm not done dancing yet, and have re-auditioned and made it back on the squad.
Wow.
So it kind of all depends on your journey and where you are in life, and if you are really 100% done in this industry. Because you'll know, because there are days where it's hard. We practice 3 times a week, 3 hours each. Game days are very long, and then we also have appearances thrown in there in the weeks. So you'll know exactly when your time is done, when you have nothing else to learn, you're ready to move on with your life. But yeah, ultimately, usually it's the girl's choice.
What was the biggest perk besides being at the games? What was the biggest perk of being an NFL cheerleader?
So we do have sponsors with the team. So for us, we had free memberships to the New York Sports Club. We had a 30% discount with MAC Cosmetics. They were our official makeup line. And we also had free training, how to do makeup and that kind of stuff. So we do have some sponsors that did provide services for us. So those are definitely some of the perks that came with the job. And some girls had the opportunity to go on calendar shoots and to travel. I've had the opportunity to appear on different media outlets like CBS, Fox and Friends, and talk about the Jets on television. So there's been many perks to this job.
That's
Kim,
awesome.
Was it unheard of for a girl to cheer for one team and then go to another team? Are you aware? Did that ever happen?
Actually, that's happened a lot of times. A lot of girls have cheered up for one team for a long time and then maybe came to the Jets, or we've had some girls that have cheered with the Jets for a couple of years and then went on to become Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. So, and then other girls either cheered with us and then became NBA dancers. So in this industry, it's everyone, like, it's totally fine if you go from like one team to another. For me personally, I would feel weird cheering for another NFL team. So I feel like that for me that would be really weird for me, especially being a Jets fan, but a lot of girls have done that.
Now, what about going between sports? Is that difficult?
It's a different type of style. Like, one of my best friends, we cheered together for the Jets for several years, and now she cheers for the Washington Wizards dance team. So she said, the rehearsal process is very different. You're dancing on a court as opposed to dancing on turf. The style is different too. We're more of like a Broadway jazz pom squad, where for her it's now hip hop jazz. So it's a little bit different. So it's just kind of changing your mindset. As a dancer, you're trained in so many different styles. So it's just a matter of, being able to pick up those new styles and kind of work that into your routine.
Now, I'm only asking you because I never noticed this before, but is baseball the only major sport that doesn't have cheerleaders?
They don't, and hockey, I believe, does not either. I know, like, they at one time, like, the Devils had.
The Devils used to.
The
Devils used to.
But some soccer teams I know have some, but the mainstream sports entertainment teams, you're going to find that in the NBA or the NFL.
Interesting.
That's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
What about with the XFL and some of the indoor and so forth? Duke, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You got to give me a break. I can't hear you.
No, I'm laughing because I'm just imagining they should have cheerleaders for golf. Everyone's like, woo!
I would be there for golf. Absolutely. I would be there.
Well, what about like the XFL and some of the CFL? Do they also follow the same models?
So theirs is a little bit different because they have their own set of rules. I believe the XFL used to have cheerleaders, and now that they're back, I'm not sure if they do now. They may start to bring that back out, but yeah, they follow a different set of rules than the NFL would.
Interesting. Duke, I think there's a career for you and I. Just hang with
That's
me.
right.
Start your own team.
Listen, you haven't seen my legs, so just hang in there.
And what I could do with a pom-pom, you wouldn't believe it.
What he could do with pom-pom. Is that what you said, Duke?
Yeah, you have no idea what I can do with a pom-pom.
Those pink ones are waiting for you, Duke. I got them ready.
The pink ones. Yes. Wow, this has been a lot of fun catching up with you.
It has.
And I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
No, I've had a blast.
Really
Thank you guys so much for having me. And anytime, I would love to come back. So this was wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you, Kim.